Hello, today I will give you information about Russia. After listening to this podcast, you will have learned some quality things about Russia. Let's start. Russia. Russia, officially known as the Russian Federation, is a country located in Eastern Europe and Northern Asia. It is the largest country in the world by land area, covering over 17 million square kilometers, and is home to over 144 million people. Russia is a federal semi-presidential republic, with a president as the head of state and a prime minister as the head of government. The current president is Vladimir Putin, who has been in power since 2000. The official language is Russian, and the currency is the Russian ruble. The country has a diverse economy with industries ranging from oil and gas to agriculture and technology. Russia has a rich history and culture, with many famous landmarks such as the Kremlin in Moscow, the Hermitage Museum in St. Petersburg, and Lake Baikal, which is the deepest lake in the world. The country has also produced many famous writers, musicians, and artists, including Leo Tolstoy, Fyodor Dostoevsky, Tchaikovsky, and Kazimir Malevich. Russia is also known for its cold climate, with long winters and short summers. The country is home to a wide variety of wildlife, including polar bears, reindeer, and Siberian tigers. Economy. Russia has a diverse economy with a mix of state-owned and privately owned enterprises. The country is one of the world's largest producers of natural resources such as oil, gas, coal, and timber, which has traditionally been a major driver of the Russian economy. However, in recent years, the Russian government has sought to diversify the economy by promoting non-resource sectors such as technology, manufacturing, and services. The country has also made efforts to improve the business climate, reduce corruption, and attract foreign investment. Despite these efforts, the Russian economy has faced several challenges in recent years. Economic sanctions imposed by Western countries in response to Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014, coupled with falling oil prices, have had a significant impact on the economy. The COVID-19 pandemic has also had a negative impact on the economy, leading to a contraction in GDP in 2020. As of 2021, Russia's GDP is estimated to be around $1.7 trillion, making it the 11th largest economy in the world. The country's major trading partners include China, Germany, the Netherlands, Belarus, and Kazakhstan. The Russian government has set ambitious targets for economic growth in the coming years and has implemented various policy measures to stimulate growth and attract investment. Politics. Russia is a federal semi-presidential republic, with a president as the head of state and a prime minister as the head of government. The current president is Vladimir Putin, who has been in power since 2000. The president is elected for a 6-year term and can serve a maximum of 2 consecutive terms. The Russian political system is dominated by the ruling United Russia Party, which has a majority in both the State Duma, the lower house of the Russian parliament, and the Federation Council, the upper house. However, there are also several opposition parties and independent politicians who hold seats in the parliament. Critics have accused the Russian government of suppressing political opposition and limiting freedom of speech and the press. The government has also been accused of interfering in elections and engaging in human rights abuses. In recent years, the Russian government has been involved in a number of international disputes, including its annexation of Crimea in 2014, its involvement in the conflict in Syria, and its alleged interference in the 2016 U.S. presidential election. These actions have led to increased tensions between Russia and many Western countries. Despite these challenges, the Russian government has maintained a strong grip on power, with President Putin remaining a popular figure in Russian politics. However, there are concerns about the country's long-term political stability, particularly as the population ages and the economy faces challenges. Social factors. Population. Russia is the world's ninth most populous country, with a population of over 144 million people. However, the population has been declining in recent years due to low birth rates and emigration. Education. Education is highly valued in Russia, with a literacy rate of over 99%. The country has a well-developed education system, with many prestigious universities and institutions of higher learning. Health. The Russian healthcare system has undergone significant reforms in recent years, but it still faces challenges such as low funding and shortages of medical personnel and equipment. Life expectancy in Russia is lower than in many other developed countries. Religion. Russia is a predominantly Orthodox Christian country, with the Russian Orthodox Church being the largest religious organization. However, there are also significant Muslim, Buddhist, and Jewish communities. Gender roles. Traditional gender roles are still prevalent in Russian society, with men often being seen as breadwinners and women as caregivers. However, there are also many women in high-profile positions in politics, business, and other fields. Ethnic diversity. Russia is home to over 190 ethnic groups, with ethnic Russians making up the majority of the population. However, there are also significant populations of Tatars, Bashkirs, Ukrainians, and other ethnic groups. Income inequality. Income inequality is a significant issue in Russia, with a large gap between the wealthiest and poorest members of society. This has led to social tensions and protests in some parts of the country. Environmental factors. Landscapes. Russia is home to a diverse range of landscapes, from the vast Siberian taiga forests to the frozen tundra of the Arctic Circle. The country is also home to many rivers and lakes, including Lake Baikal, which is the deepest lake in the world. Biodiversity. Russia is home to a wide range of plant and animal species, many of which are found nowhere else in the world. However, the country's biodiversity is threatened by habitat loss, climate change, and pollution. Pollution. Russia has struggled with pollution problems for many years, particularly in its major cities. Industrial pollution, vehicle emissions, and agricultural runoff have all contributed to air and water pollution. Climate change. Russia is one of the countries most affected by climate change, with temperatures rising faster than the global average. The melting of permafrost in Siberia is also releasing large amounts of methane, a potent greenhouse gas. Natural disasters. Russia is vulnerable to a range of natural disasters, including floods, forest fires, and earthquakes. In recent years, the country has experienced an increase in extreme weather events, such as heat waves and droughts. Environmental policy. The Russian government has implemented various policies to address environmental issues, such as the National Climate Doctrine and the National Biodiversity Conservation Strategy. However, some critics argue that these policies are not enough to address the scale of the country's environmental challenges. Environmental activism. There is a growing environmental movement in Russia, with activists and NGOs advocating for greater protection of the country's natural resources and wildlife. However, these groups often face challenges such as government repression and harassment. Cultural factors. Literature. Russia has a rich literary tradition, with some of the world's most celebrated authors coming from the country. These include Leo Tolstoy, Fyodor Dostoevsky, and Anton Chekhov. Art. Russia has a long and rich history of artistic expression, with many famous painters, sculptors, and architects hailing from the country. Some of the most famous examples of Russian art include the onion-domed churches of Moscow and the paintings of Vasily Kandinsky and Kazimir Malevich. Music. Russian classical music is world-renowned, with composers such as Pyotr Ilyich Tchaikovsky and Sergei Rachmaninoff having a lasting impact on the genre. Russia is also home to a thriving contemporary music scene, with genres such as pop, rock, and hip-hop being popular. Cuisine: Russian cuisine is known for its hearty, filling dishes, such as borscht, a beet soup, and pelmeni, dumplings filled with meat or vegetables. The country is also famous for its vodka, which is often served alongside meals. Holidays and traditions: Russia has many unique holidays and traditions, such as Maslenitsa, a festival celebrating the end of winter, and the Troitsa, a religious holiday celebrated in early June. The country is also known for its traditional folk dances and costumes. Sports: Sports are an important part of Russian culture, with ice hockey, soccer, and basketball being among the most popular. Russia has also had success in Olympic sports such as figure skating and gymnastics. Language: Russian is the official language of the country and is spoken by the vast majority of the population. However, there are also many minority languages spoken throughout Russia, such as Tatar, Bashkir, and Chechen. Army size: The Russian army is one of the largest in the world, with around 1 million active personnel and an additional 2 million reserves. History: Russia has a long and storied military history, with the country playing a key role in major conflicts such as World War II and the Cold War. Organization: The Russian army is organized into various branches, including ground forces, naval forces, and aerospace forces. Equipment: The Russian army is equipped with a range of advanced weapons and military technology, including tanks, missiles, and fighter jets. The country also has the world's largest stockpile of nuclear weapons. Modernization: In recent years, the Russian army has undergone a major modernization program, with a focus on upgrading its weapons systems and improving its readiness and training. Operations: The Russian army has been involved in a number of conflicts and operations in recent years, including the conflict in Syria and the ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine. Conscription: Military service is mandatory for all male citizens in Russia between the ages of 18 and 27. Women are also allowed to serve voluntarily. It's important to note that the Russian army has been the subject of controversy and criticism over issues such as human rights abuses, corruption, and the use of military force in conflicts such as Ukraine and Syria. Thank you for listening to me.